Growing up, I've always wanted Star Wars' iconic lightsaber. I mean, what's not to like about it? It has a bright, pulsating plasma blade, and the way it hums and crackles in the middle of combat as it's being swung around are just music to my ears. So with that in mind, I went online and looked for the latest lightsabers on sale, and that's when I stumbled upon Damiensaber. So I got not one lightsaber from the company, I got two lightsabers from Damiensaber, and this is our review of the Damiensaber Xenopixel Lightsabers. First, let's talk prices. This silver hilt model costs $169. While that sounds like quite a bit of money, I mean it is, it's actually worth it in my opinion for a lightsaber of this quality, which I'll get to later on. Now, this other model that we have with the exposed kyber crystal chamber costs $379, which is more than double the price of the other one. The only real difference between them is just the hilt design, because both are NeoPixel blade with a Xenopixel soundboard. So it looks like that, it looks like that. They're basically the same, just the different blade color, which can be changed to whatever that you want it to be. Beyond the different hilt design, you do get other goodies by buying this more expensive model, including this pretty nice looking acrylic stand and this very protective carrying case. But is it worth paying almost double for these accessories? That's entirely up to you. Now, let's get to what I like about this Damiensaber Xenopixel lightsaber. This particular hilt, for example, which I paid a lot of money for, has a very nice exposed kyber crystal chamber, and it's not just for show either. If I choose a red blade, for example, the kyber crystal will also be in red. It will follow whatever blade color I choose, and that's just fantastic. Aside from that, the build quality of this is just incredibly good. It feels fantastic in my hand, and it's also quite heavy, which I'll get to later on, but I mean, it does give a premium feel to the whole thing, as if it's a real lightsaber, if I do say so myself. And then there's the very, very loud speaker of this lightsaber. Now, right now, this is just in the low setting, and if I put it on to the maximum setting, which I'll get to soon.
Volume high.
That's ridiculously loud. Next, we have the smooth swing of the Xenopixel lightsaber. Now, why is it called smooth swing? Well, as you're swinging this blade around, you can hear the smooth humming sound as if you're holding on to a, again, real lightsaber instead of a fancy tube of light, essentially. Another feature of the Xenopixel lightsaber that I like are the motion controls that you've been seeing throughout this video. A twist activates it, and another twist deactivates it. You can even turn it upside down to change to different sound fonts.
There's a cunning warrior. The dark sword. Follow the Jedi.
That's very nice, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you are used to it, you can just change all of these on the fly very easily. Xenopixel lightsabers from Damiensaber also feature 34 different sound fonts, and one of the sound fonts that we have right now is called the Dark Sword, which is, well, the dark saber from The Mandalorian, and just see how nice this is. From the smooth, slow ignition and just to the way it sounds, I mean, come on, this is very nice. Speaking of which, a Xenopixel lightsaber also has several different ignition styles, and my favorite is the broken ignition. It will show as if the blade has trouble igniting, and once it does ignite, it just looks and sounds incredibly satisfying. I mean, as a fan of a lightsaber and Star Wars franchise in general, it's just, I'm impressed, basically. Last but not least is the bright NeoPixel blade of the Xenopixel saber. I mean, this is extremely bright, and to change the color, again, you can just use the motion control. Put it upside down, hold the button, and swing. Then you'll just change the color, select one that you like, and let go. And now I have a Mace Windu lightsaber. So nice. Obviously, I've got a lot of positive to say about the Damiensaber Xenopixel Lightsaber, but there are also a few shortcomings that you have to keep in mind. The first one is the fact that this is a heavy lightsaber, so if you want to spin with this saber, it will be quite difficult as you need to work up the strength to do it. And then there's also the intricate design of this hilt. The fact that this part is exposed is not too bad because I can just hold it on top here to spin the blade, but there are also these sharp bits here, and as you're spinning the blade around and you get quicker, you can cut your thumb, which actually happened to me, and it wasn't a pleasant experience at all. The controls of the Xenopixel Lightsaber is also a little bit tricky because it relies on a single button input. If you want to ignite the blade, just press the button once, but if you hold it for about 1 second, it will go to the volume control.
Volume high.
But here's the thing, if you hold it a tad too long,
Rainbow blade.
it will change the blade style instead. Granted, some models do have an illuminated button to make it easier, but this one does not, so you have to rely entirely on timing, and it can get frustrating to learn how to do it the first time around. That is not to say the model with the illuminated button is any better, because you still have to rely on timing, just that you now have a visual aid as well. Like to change the ignition style, for example, I need to hold it for 3 blinks
Blaster blade.
to change the ignition style, and it's just not as direct as I would have liked. My last qualm with this Xenopixel Lightsaber is the charging method for the blade. This one is fine because it uses a USB Type-C cable to be charged, but this particular model, because it's a replica of a more well-known saber, it does not have any port visible for charging. So instead, I have to unscrew this, take out the battery, and use the battery charger. And I would say it's still worth it because it looks amazing without any port cutouts to charge it, but it does get a bit troublesome sometimes. So that is our review of Damiensaber's Xenopixel Lightsaber. These are incredibly sexy blades with a bright blade and extremely smooth swing. And if you have the budget for these blades, it is definitely worth the money, at least for the $169 model. I can't quite recommend the $379 model because it's expensive and you're just paying for the design. So if you like the design, then get this one. But if you want a blade that functions exactly the same, get this more affordable $169 model. Or you could go for the base lead model instead, which doesn't use a NeoPixel blade, so it is much lighter and much easier to spin, not to mention the fact that they're very affordable. If you don't like the hilt design of these two models for whatever reason, because I think that looks great, fair enough. Just head on to Damiensaber.com to check out their full product list. You can even get hilts that look like Darth Vader's, Obi-Wan's, and even Rey's if that's your style. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and always stay tuned for more good stuff to come here on this channel and nextdrift.com.